Hot take. Never pay more than $20 for video games. This was a meme at one point, and it's a meme that I post on Twitter all the time, but it's my genuine feelings. Don't pay more than $20 for video games. And the reason being, especially with the AAA stuff, I just don't think the quality's there. The games oftentimes look phenomenal when they don't force you to, use upscaling, where then you have to use TAA and it kind of smears the image all over the screen if you can get past that. Um, the games, they usually don't work very well. They're usually not very well optimized until about the time they're on sale for $20 anyway. They lack in content. The writing isn't always very good. A lot of times it's really bad. The gameplay feels very rinse and repeat. The Sony template meme is a real thing, and that's not to say that Xbox is any better. I love Nintendo because at least they're trying to do something different. For the most part, you might say they're gimmicky as much as you want to, but and as much as I've trashed on Nintendo recently, I will say that their games, they are trying to do something different. They found a million different ways to get Mario to jump on Goombas for almost 40 years. Like give credit where it's due. But most AAA game devs, I feel like just aren't trying. They're phoning it in. They're just there for a check. And I mean, it's fine if you just show up to work for a check. A lot of people do that. That's just, but that doesn't mean that I have to pay for it. At least not full price, especially with games and consoles and even graphics cards all going up in price. Where I remember not too long ago when a high end graphics card was like $600-700, and that was like the best of the best. That was like your 1080 Ti. It was like $700. Now I think that was even the 780 Ti was like that too. 980 Ti was in that range. Now you got $2,000 graphics cards, and $500 4060 Ti's, and you paid an extra $100 to get 16 gigs of VRAM. Because otherwise, it's a $400 card that really should be like a $200 card. Actually, it's probably like a $150 card. If with the way they do the dies, and apparently this is really like a 50 Ti, and I don't get mixed up into all that. But my point is, we're not getting value, and that's kind of the world we live in now, where nobody wants to give anyone value for anything. They just want to, everything is sell as high as possible. We don't care if we sell to less people as long as we can sell it for more money. And it's going to be interesting because since video games aren't a necessity, and necessities in life are even doing this, video games are going to take a hit. And I think everybody's kind of finding their way to do it. Either you're going to buy less games, or you're going to lean toward indie games, or you're going to be like me and leaning in your backlog and emulation, or you're just like, I'll just wait for the game to be $20, or I'm just not going to play it. Everybody's going to find their way to do this. Maybe we'll go back to how things were in the 90s. Well, that's probably why they're trying to get rid of physical media, where I remember in my neighborhood, me and my buddies, we all made sure to have the Sega Genesis, and we were just swapping each other's games around so we could play as much as possible. There are ways to work around this, and it's going to be, like I said, interesting how things are going to go forward. But the message here should still be, don't pay more than $20 for games, because most of the time the game isn't worth it until it's about $20-25 anyway. But then you have all the content, the game is all the way patched up, and the game is launched the way it's supposed to, or the game is in the state it was supposed to be at launch, or the devs abandoned it and it wasn't worth your time anyway. So what benefit is there to play the game day one besides maybe be a part of that conversation online, which, who cares? I guess at the end of the day, a great game is a great game, and if a great game is great, it'll stand up to the test of time. Now, of course, we're all going to have individual games that we're going to break this rule on. I know when Persona 6 comes out, when Fallout 5 comes out, when the next 3D Zelda comes out, that might get me to do something that I normally wouldn't do. But I think we should all really start looking at, do we need to play every game day one? Is every game worth paying full price for? And I don't think most of them are. I'm looking at Mario Kart. Mario Kart looks great, but I'm not a big Mario Kart person. Mario Kart isn't going to buy me a Switch 2. And I know it's going to buy a lot of people Switch 2s, and that's great. I'm just speaking for, I can only speak for myself. I know Mario Kart for me is an $80 game, and that's not going to get it. you're not going to get me there $80. You'll get me there with Zelda. You might get me there with a 3D Mario or a 2D Mario. You might get me there with Metroid. You might get me there with some of these other IPs that Nintendo has. Give me another Uncharted. You might get me to pay $70. But for the most part, especially now knowing that, you know, the industry is going in the direction of, hey, you own nothing. So if I own nothing, what am I paying for? And if I own nothing and I'm just paying because you exist, then why shouldn't I just pirate it? So with all of that in mind, all of this thought process, I say again, never pay more than $20 for a video game.